Hi guys, today I'm going to be playing with the Not Too Shabby Picnic Cows Stamp and Die set. This is the Stamp and Die of the month for the month of August. Aren't these little guys just so stinking cute? I'm going to just start off by just stamping out a few of those. I am going to be doing a couple of videos this month, so I have no idea what they're going to look like yet, but let's do like we always do, and let's go ahead and wing it. I am, like I said, going to go ahead and start off by stamping out a few of these little guys. So I'm going to start off with the little watermelon and adding a little bit of a green rind right here. This one is basically a lighter green. This is LG2. And I think I want to kind of sort of blend that out just a little bit with the colorless blender. And then I'm going to go in with a darker green for the rind, and that is AG2. I think AG1. I think I am going to bring in another darker one. I'll go with AG4 because that one is like kind of my darkest true green, and I like that. I'm just going to go with just a little bit on that edge. Bring it in just a little bit. And then blend that back out a little bit with the AG1. So it kind of is going from darkest up, because further in a watermelon you go, the lighter it gets, right? And now we're going to go play with some pink. So I'm going to start off with the BP1, which is this bright pink. And coming in a little bit in from that rind. I'm going to blend it back out with my colorless blender, I think. And then, of course, the rest of this is going to be a darker red, so. Okay, I'm bringing the color down right up to that edge where that pink is, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pink to kind of blend between the two. Pull some of that red down and some of the pink up and kind of make it blend into it a little bit. So I am lightening up my red just a little bit and darkening up my pink just a little bit, I think. And then I'm going to see if I can use the wide end of my colorless blender, because whenever I try to use the tip, it doesn't always work right, you know, the bullet nib. You go ahead and put these markers back off to the side. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and bring back the red because I've got a little strawberry down here too. Might as well get him done while I'm at it. So this again is the DR2. And then I'm going to come back in with a darker red. This one is DR5. And add a little bit of shadow to the outside edges. I think I do want to bring in some more of this darker red though. So this is again the DR5 that I was just using on that strawberry. I'm back with the DR2. And then some more of the BP1. And again, I probably did a little bit too much finagling on that one. Doesn't really need all that. And I keep changing my mind anyway. Which means it is totally fine to do that, guys. You know, play with it until it is what you want it to be. Right? Kind of softening up those edges between the pink and the red. That looks kind of like a juicy watermelon. That is going to be cool. Awesome. I'm going to go with the AG1 and the AG4. The AG1, because it's the lighter one, go ahead and do that one first. Because it's easier to darken things up than it is to try to lighten them. And then just a little bit of the darker to give it a little bit more texture. That was super easy. I didn't notice till after I stamped it out, but there is a little ant down here, and I think that is super cute. I'm going to start off with a lighter of the grays. This one is going to be my IG6, and all of the markers that I'm using are from Spectrum Noir, because that's what I have. So I'm just going to go ahead and color up the whole little ant with this lighter gray. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in with my IG10, which is much darker. It's actually my darkest gray. And I'm adding it in to give basically our little guy some shape. And now I'm coming back in with my lighter, and that's going to kind of give it a little bit of a rounded look for our little ant. I think that is cute. I do need a little bit darker, so I'm going to go over again. If you don't have multiple colors, going in with a second or third layer of the same ink does help to darken things up. So first things first, I'm going to color the whole cow basically with my MB1, and the easiest, fastest way to do that, of course, is using the chisel tip. And then when I come down to these areas that I don't want to overlap, or don't want to get into the other part that I've already colored, that's when I need to come back in with my bullet nib, right? So for this one, I am coming in and just going with all of the places that would be darker, basically the spots, and a little bit of extra, what's supposed to look like bangs up here, but it's actually a spot. We've got a spot down here, another one here. Then I'm going to come back in with my MB3 and do the little bit of shadowing areas, like right above his nose to the outside of his face. That way I can give it a little bit of a rounded look. Behind my little watermelon, and of course his hooves. Okay, come back in with my MB1. That's that lightest color we were working with. And kind of just blend those together. Kind of soften up the edges a little bit. Okay, now I'm bringing out my chisel nib because this is starting to feel a little bit dry. I probably need to do a refill. Going back over it again because I do want a little bit darker. Like I said, you just play with it until it looks the way you want it to. Okay, so this is my MB4, and I'm going to darken up the insides of his nostrils a bit. Okay, so I think my little cow with the watermelon is done. And I think it looks really super cute. I mean, the cow is, you know, that brown color, and then you've got that pop of red right there. Oh, I love that. That turned out so cute. So I decided that I'm going to do a little bit of a different type of card. So I'm taking a piece of 8.5 by, no, I'm sorry, 11. Yes, this is 11 by 4 1/4. So that is an 8.5 by 11 cut at 4 1/4. And I am going to score this regular place, which would be 5 1/2. So this would create a top fold card base, right? Then let me go ahead and burnish that down. Then I'm going to score it again. This time I'm going to score it at about 2 1/4. Actually, see, that's 5 1/2, 2 1/2. So I think it's going to be about, it's going to be 2 3/4. So it's basically the halfway point. My math was wrong the first time. So I'm going to fold that again there and burnish that down. And that is going to make it so that this can be basically a, I forgot what the card is called, but I will put that in the description, and I will add a note here as well. So this fold, I figured out what the name was, or rather looked it up. This is going to create an easel card, so that is going to be super fun. So I do want to decorate the front of my card. Don't want to leave it all white, so I'm going to use some of this pattern paper. It says on it, throw kindness around like confetti. I think that is super cute. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to about 4 inches, so it'll be give me a little bit of a border around the edges. Okay, so that would be just like the regular front of my card base, right? So just to confirm, this piece is this is scored from the end there at 2 3/4. So I need to cut this down by about a quarter inch shorter. So that means 2 1/2. So this is going to be, just going over it again, 4 by 2 1/2. So I'll go ahead and cut that part down. So that's going to leave a little bit of an edge all the way around. So now I need to do the other half. And now I'm going to just glue both of those down to the front of my card. And it really doesn't matter if the words line up or not. This is going to be covered by our little cow. So it's going to be covered by the cow. So people aren't really going to be able to see it that much. But you know what? I'm probably going to make sure that it is going to be, at least the words continue from one piece to the next. And they're going to be face up, right? So here's the top of my card, and the words do match up, and there. Now you can see that I actually have them lined up. Okay, now I'm going to add glue to the back of my other panel and put it down to the bottom half. And again, just giving that little bit of wiggle room. I probably have got a bigger gap in the middle than what I really need. But my concern is that when you fold it, I have done these in the past where I had a full sheet there, and that edge there, it does not fold as well. So that's why I'm going to do it this way. So I decided to use 2 layers of heavyweight cardstock for this. Mostly because I already had them cut out. But anywho. And now I'm going to glue those together, and then I can add my green grassy piece. Okay, and now I can add my little cow to the front. Okay, so now the way that I'm going to adhere this to my card base is by adding some liquid glue to the bottom half of my diamond. I don't want it to go over to the top part, because if I do that, it is not going to allow for it to fold there. Okay, so it's just on the bottom. Then I need to line that up right in the center. And what's neat with having it as a diamond shape is that I can line that up right with my fold. Okay, so that looks about right. See, it will pop right upright like that. But it also lays flat. So that is the front of the card done. Now we need a stopper. I already have a sentiment ready to go. This sentiment was one that I cut out with when I was doing my other card. So now I need something for it to basically get connected to down here. Because yes, I could put this down flat, but you know what? How much you want to bet I would wind up taking the sentiment off, and I don't want to do that. So I'm doing kind of the same thing that I did for our little cow on the front. I die cut out another one of those little one of those little diamonds, a little bit smaller than another piece. Have one on heavyweight cardstock and one for the background color. And then I'm going to adhere my little sentiment down and just have that go right across the front. And then what's going to make this so that it works better as a stopper is I'm going to put some foam on the back of this. I'm going to just put that right across the middle here. Go ahead and add a little liquid glue to the back of that. And then figure out, where do I want my stopper to actually stop? I think I want it down right about there. Now if you use a rectangle, you'll be able to adjust it a little bit better. Okay, so that is, I think that's perfect. Just enough lift there so it catches on the top of that diamond. That is going to look so cute. Or you can have it come down that far, but anyhow, there we go. That is gonna be the card. Let me see. I think I want to add a little sparkle to that, though, don't you? So I am gonna add some cat scrappy sequins. This is called Tinkerbell Mix, and I think the colors go real nicely and adds that little bit of sparkle. And I love my sparkle. Another thing I love about these is that they've got different sizes of the sequins. These mixes are so much fun when I can get them to stick. It just means that I don't always grab them right, because if you have the you pick up two at once, it doesn't work. But if you try putting them down with the flat side up, it doesn't stick. You need the flat side down. You need them to basically be a little cup. Okay, and I am putting them on both pieces, on both the pop-up piece and on the flat piece behind it. So we're going to have a little line going down. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more down here to the bottom. I still think that that little ant is just too stinking cute. And I'm probably putting a little bit too many sequins down, but you know what? That is perfectly fine. I like my sparkle, and that's what I'm going to go with, right? Okay, so that is a little bit too much now looking up in the screen, but that is all right. I may change it up. I don't know. Anyhow, that's going to finish up this card for today. You guys have a wonderful day. Check out one of the playlists here to see some more projects using not too shabby products, and I will see you next time. Talk to you later.